Welcome into Studio 73 for this edition of the Suffolk Sports Report. I'm Sean Cushing alongside Sophie Bartone, and we are bringing you some Red Sox action from this past week, starting with the matchup against the Orioles. So, Sophie, how did it all turn out?
All right, so last week the Sox took on the Orioles in hopes of securing the best record in the MLB this season. The Sox did exactly this last Monday after a 6-2 win against the Orioles, reaching a franchise record of 106 victories. Not only did the Sox ensure home field advantage through each round of the playoffs, but they also made sure to hit some career highs in the process. Let's take a look at the highlights from last week's games. Brock Holt started off Game 1 of the series with a bomb to the left field corner in the bottom of the second, sending in the first run of the night after Steve Pearce makes his way home. Brock Holt's double would start the Sox off to a great start. Next up is Cushing, who follows through by sending Brock Holt home with a line drive to center left field. His base hit would make the score 2-0 against the Orioles. Shortly after, All-Star Mookie Betts sends a high fly ball deep into left field, reaching the fans in the Green Monster. Home run number 32 for Mookie Betts, reaching a career high. Sox up 4-2-0. Fourth inning of the game, runners on second and third advance when Benintendi knocks it off the glove of the second baseman, changing the score to 5-0. Next up, bases loaded, Xander Bogaerts sends a line drive to left field, advancing all of the runners like he does best. Mookie Betts crosses home, and the score is now 6-0. Nathan Eovaldi's determination on the mound sent the Orioles packing as he's working hard to make a spot in Boston's playoff rotation. Eovaldi kept the strikeouts coming, tying his career high with 10 Ks and showing the Orioles who's boss. Final score of Monday night's game was 6-2 Red Sox. And on to the next one, the Sox hosted the Orioles for a doubleheader last Wednesday, leading to numerous standout performances. Rafael Devers showed off his skills in Game 1 of the doubleheader, hitting a bullet that rolled far into left field with bases loaded. His 3-run double would make the score 5-0 against Baltimore. And next up, in the bottom of the fourth, we have power hitter J.D. Martinez, who sends it out of Fenway with home run number 42. Martinez hits a milestone with this bomb out of the park, tying the franchise record for the most player with the most runs in a Sox uniform. Next up, bottom of 7, Rafael Devers is back at the plate and ready to follow in the footsteps of Martinez. He pushes it right into center field, and that's home run number 20 for Devers. Next up is Blake Swihart, keeping the trend going with the bomb to right field. That's a home run. This would be Swihart's third home run of the season. The score is 15-3 in the bottom of the 8th, and Devers decides he's not quite finished yet. He sends it right into center field, and look at the distance of that one. The Sox would finish off Game 1 of the day with a score of 19-3. And next up, it was a long night for the Sox as they were unable to hold it together for Game 2 of the doubleheader. Chris Sale starts off the night on the mound, and this would be his final start before he takes on Game 1 of the division series on Friday. Sale's pitch down the middle allows Trey Mancini to knock it over to the corner of the right field, and that ball rolls around before Blake Swihart can get it into the infield. The Orioles score on that one. Next up, it's a tied game in the top of the 5th as Jones of the Orioles takes his turn against Sale, sending it out to left field with the man on first and second. Jones makes it to second, and the Orioles would get another run in as the ball trickles home all the way to home plate. The score is 3-2 Orioles. Blake Swihart looks to tie it up once again, and he does exactly that with a base hit that drops right into center field. The Orioles do their best to get it in quickly, but Devers makes his way home, tying up the game 3-3. In the top of the 7th, Mancini gets another one off of Sale, sending it right up the middle for a base hit. Mancini comes through with 2 RBIs, and the Sox can't seem to stop the Orioles in Game 2 as Baltimore takes a 5-3 lead. It's bases loaded in top of the 9th, and Andreoli sends the ball into right field. It hops into the stands, calling for a ground rule double for the O's. The Sox couldn't power through Game 2 of the doubleheader, finishing off the series with a 10-3 loss.
Following the Orioles series, the Red Sox took on the Yankees this past weekend at Fenway. Let's take a look. To start off this series between the Red Sox and Yankees, we do have Gary Sanchez going deep over the monster off Brian Johnson in the 3rd inning. Following that, Johnson still struggling up against Torres, who is going to put this one off the monster. Betts and Bogaerts trying to relay this throw, but it is too late as the Yankees are going to score a run. Yankees up now 5 in the 4th. Here's another shot. It's to right field this time from Aaron Hicks. Swihart backing all the way up to the wall, but that one is gone. Now Yankees up 10-4 as Judge wants to join in on the fun to cap off Game 1 at Fenway with an 11-4 victory for the Yankees. Game 2 now, it's still all Yankees. Here's Bird as he's going to take that one deep off the wall here. This will drive in a run for New York, who take a 2-1 lead going into the 4th. Next up, it's Torres coming up big as he cranks this one to right to extend the lead for New York, that 2-run blast. From now, here it is all Yankees as Stanton decides he wants to go long 2 right here with a shot up into the monster. Chapman would secure the 8-5 victory for the Yankees coming up here, heading into the 3rd and final game of the series. Now, Game 3, things looking good for the Red Sox as Holt finally is going to hit this one to right field. A bobble from Judge coming in is going to allow Betts to score. 1-0 Red Sox moving into the 2nd. Red Sox now up 4-0. Holt takes this one off the wall as Jackie Bradley Jr. rounds the bases to score. Red Sox extend their lead to 7-2. Here's JD Martinez coming up shortly, driving this one into the triangle here in right field, the deepest part of Fenway Park. And from there, it was all Red Sox as Kimbrel strikes out the last batter here to give the Red Sox 1 out of 3 games in this series against the Yankees. Now, we do have the playoffs coming up here for baseball, and it's looking like the Red Sox are going to get a bye. We do know that. But the wild card game that the Red Sox should be worried about here is that game between the Yankees and the A's coming up shortly. What are you thinking on how this game is going to play out, and who do you see the Red Sox playing in their first series in the ALDS?
Right, so I think that the Yankees are going to be able to take it on Wednesday when they play the A's. Their at-bats have just been amazing recently, and I don't think that the Athletics are going to be able to handle it. And I honestly would like to see a little Red Sox-Yankees action in the playoffs, and everyone likes that rivalry, so that's what I'd like to see.
I think we definitely would all like to see that. I believe once the Red Sox get to see who they are going to match up against, I think it's going to be the Yankees as well. I'm not too sure on the pitching this year for the Red Sox. I think that could be a problem against the Yankees, as we just saw in those past few games. The Yankees were hitting home run after home run after home run. So if that is the matchup, I am going to be a little worried going into the postseason. We remember 2016 when the Red Sox had this great hitting lineup with David Ortiz in it, and they were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. So we will see how the Red Sox fare coming up in this postseason. But that is all we have today for our coverage of Red Sox baseball. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media at Studio 73. I'm Sean Cushing.
And I'm Sophie Bartone.
Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next time on the Suffolk Sports Report.